Thank you, Curtis. The format of this meeting is a 10-minute speaker, a 10-minute coffee break, and then a main speaker. Tonight, our first speaker is Pat. Give it up for Pat.
I'm Pat, and excuse me. I'm Pat, and I'm alcoholic. Can we hear good? Can we hear well? All right. So what's funny is I've literally told my story 3 times today. 2 new sponsees, and then at a rehab. I literally just came from there. And what's funny is both sponsees and the rehab is here. So I don't know. I'm not gonna share my story. It's 10 minutes. I'm tired. I'm tired of talking, honestly. So I'm just gonna listen. Thanks. I'll pass. No, I just figured I'd have some fun and talk about whatever comes to my mind. So I'll qualify real quick as why, I'm a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, what that means to me. My sobriety date is March 1st, 2019. I've been to countless rehabs, jails, other institutions. I have a sponsor. He's speaking next. Let's see, I have multiple service commitments. Stay busy in AA because it's what works for me. That's why I do it. Let's see. No, you're fine. I'm of the hopeless variety. It's kind of a miracle that I'm standing here. The fact that my biggest problem today is I'm tired of sharing my experience, strength, and hope. That people actually want to hear me today. I wanted to kill myself for years on end. I was introduced to AA at a pretty young age. I was 19. And like most people probably in this room, just not ready. That's okay. I've been arrested a lot of times, facing a lot of prison, and somehow managed to escape that. But what I did was I tried to control and enjoy my drinking. I tried to taper it, moderate, just stay out of trouble. And the thing is, I was introduced to AA. I was willing to listen. I was willing to show up to meetings, get my paper signed, and do all that, which, as the basket was being passed, I noticed a lot of papers were going in there, so I get that. I've been that guy. I had to get to a place of hopelessness, I had to be completely broken before I was willing to try this thing. I don't know why. It says we have 2 alternatives, right? To go on to the bitter end, just drinking ourselves to death pretty much, or to accept spiritual help. And for me, that's a tough one. It's oh, shit. How bad's the alcoholic death? What's the bitter end look like? Is it that bad? How bitter are we talking? I really have to think about it. And the thing is, I had a really hard time just making a decision. As an alcoholic, I've come to find that I'm very inconsistent. I'm consistently inconsistent. I'll do this thing for a little bit, I'll get jazzed up, and then I kind of fade out. I jump into things alcoholically. I have a hard time slowing down, thinking clearly, and doing things based off of logic and reason. Totally lost my train of thought there. So I tried this thing on and off for a number of years. I was first introduced to AA in 2012. I hadn't felt desperation yet, but things were kind of bad, so I was willing to dip my toe into AA. I remember what I was trying to say. I couldn't commit to anything. I couldn't commit to this alcoholic death, right, the bitter end. I couldn't commit to the bitter end, and I couldn't commit to the spiritual life. I couldn't commit to the AA program. So I was kind of stuck in this limbo that you see a lot of like the treatment people in. Like we're just kind of stuck there. That's my experience, man. I'm just hanging out. I know it's bad, and I'll show up and I'll listen and I'll get a sponsor so I can get my phone and swipe, and find some girls and do whatever just to get a little bit of juice, get the ping so I get a little dopamine going. Like, I just got to feel better. I got to feel better. I'm not okay. I'm a feel-good kind of guy, and I got to feel well. I will find a way to feel well, and I'm willing to do anything it takes. I don't want to hurt you, but I will. It's going to happen, Couldn't commit to the alcoholic death because I'd get in all this trouble. I'd pick up charges and I'd say, okay, I got to stop. I don't like these consequences. It hurts. But I'm not willing to go all the way to this thing. I just stay somewhere in the middle, and that's a really painful place to be. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. I got to the place where it says we had nothing left but to pick up the simple kit of spiritual tools left at our feet. And then it says we were rocketed into a fourth dimension, right? And that's what I've experienced this time around, and it's only because it's not a virtue. I don't do this thing. I don't spend how many hours of the day that I've spent today doing this because I'm some cool guy, some fucking excuse me. There I go. Some spiritual giant, I'm a hopeless alcoholic. And I became willing to be disciplined. I became willing to try something new for the first time in my life. I listened to the people before me. I got beaten to this state of reasonableness. Alcohol was my convincer, not you people. You shared your experience, and I needed to hear that. I needed to be shown the way. My sponsor gives me time and attention on a daily basis, hears me out and shows me what to do by his experience. Like it said, there was nothing left. I thought I had tried AA because I had been coming around a little bit. I had worked some steps, but I hadn't fully surrendered. And so I guess what I want to talk about is that is surrender, What does that look like on a daily basis for me? Because I'm only granted today. I was just at the meeting before this, a guy asked me, you think you're going to relapse again? And I said, absolutely, absolutely. And that might sound crazy, but for me, my first step isn't that I can't drink or I shouldn't drink. It's that I'm absolutely going to drink again. All I have to do to get drunk is just stop doing what I'm doing right now. I just got to stop, and it might be a day, a week, a month, a year, but I will get drunk again. I believe I'm a real alcoholic, and that's my fate. So where does that leave me? Once I start drinking, I can't control the amount I take, and once I stop, it's only a matter of time before I start. Once I realized how truly screwed I was willing to try something new. And then on a daily basis, I have to make a decision. I do a 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and what that looks like is being honest about who and what I really am. I'm a hopeless alcoholic, and I can't manage my own life. And what does that mean? That the ideas that come into my head, the things that I want to do, the voice that's been dictating my life, I have to be willing to see that listening to that voice is going to get me drunk and it's going to kill me. But the thing is, if I don't have another voice to listen to, I'm always going to go back to that one. I'm always going to listen to that voice. So step 2, I come to believe that maybe there's something in this program, maybe there's something that I can get attached to be a part of that can restore me to sanity. What does that look like? Sanity, what does that mean? So first I have to admit that I have some sort of insanity, right? I think without a step 1, a recognition of my sanity, there can be no step 2. Because if I don't believe I'm insane, then why would I need to be restored to sanity? But without a step 2, without this belief that maybe things could get better, I don't think I'll have a step 1, because I'm always going to go back to that voice in my head. The recognition of a higher power, the recognition of this program, the recognition that I need these things is pertinent. I have to be completely broken before I'm willing to try something new. At least that's my experience. Come to believe that maybe I can do this thing one day at a time if I just do the next indicated right thing. And then what does that look like? It's making the decision to actually do it. It says we pray for the knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. So that's what I do. I didn't want to come speak here. I didn't. I'm tired. I've been up since 4:30 this morning, just running around all day. But my sponsor was caught in a jam, and he said, "You want to talk?" I'm like, "Not really, dude. I don't. He's like, get over here. Because I was already dressed up, so I was like, all right. And I don't know, it's not about me anymore, you know? I just try to show up and do the right thing, the next right thing. And like I said, that's not because I'm a really good guy, because I'm not. Experience shows me of myself, I'm a complete asshole. I destroy people's lives, I destroy my life, and I want to kill myself. That's me doing my very best. I'm not here to convince anyone that I've done anything here. I was beaten. I became willing to listen. I'm just hard-headed, egotistical, defiant to the core. There's something in these rooms. If you're willing, if you've been beaten enough, there is something here for you to have. I can share my experience with you. I would love to get coffee with any of you if you asked me to and share my experience one-on-one and help you out and show you what I do. My sponsor does that for me all the time. We've become like best friends, man. It's a beautiful relationship. And the two guys that I met with today, I hope the same thing for, you know. I need these people because of myself, I'm crazy. Even with this program, I get crazy, you know. But I have a decision today of which voice am I going to listen to. I developed another... Oh, I got the lights already? Jesus, I didn't think I was going to go that long. Sorry, Kirk. I got a decision today as what am I going to do? Am I going to do Pat's will, or am I going to try this thing out? So that's all I got.